Hey there, podcast lovers. Looking for a fresh take on the world? Tune into Nikki's World, where we dive into everything hitting the headlines and chat about just what's on our minds. No filters, just real talk. Whether you're sipping your morning coffee or unwinding after a long day, Nikki's World is your go-to for genuine commentary on the real world. Subscribe now if you want to hear the real deal on what's going on. Join the conversation on Nikki's World, where every episode feels like catching up with an old friend. Don't miss out.
What's up, y'all? Let's do this.
So, hi guys, welcome to Nikki's World. I'm Nikki, your host, and today, guys, we got to talk about what happened in the UK with Henry Nowak. We got to talk about why the UK has become a third world country with nukes, and we got to talk about that. And also, we got to talk about this one asshole in the state of Connecticut who is running for legislator who wants to turn Connecticut into basically a Christian Sharia state. So we got to talk about that and so much more. But before we go any further, guys, if you guys love Nikki's World so much, seriously, y'all, can y'all please consider donating a cup of coffee for me? Because for a price of a cup of coffee at Starbucks, Dunkin' Donuts, and Cumberland Farms, guys, you guys help keep this podcast show alive. You guys help me curate more stories, more topics like this to talk about. I do accept Bitcoin donations. I am on Ko-fi, guys. If you guys want to support, sponsor, donate, tip, and commission me for a photo shoot. If you guys love Nikki's World so much, seriously, y'all, please hit that like, subscribe, please give me a review. Good, bad, and the ugly. Also, guys, I do have a bunch of affiliate links. First off is Minds.com. Minds.com is a Connecticut-based social media platform. They are an awesome alternative to Facebook. So if you guys value your right to freedom of speech like I do, and your right to say stuff without fear of being blocked, suspended, deplatformed, or even arrested by like fucked up liberal governments, well then, ladies and gentlemen, head on over to minds.com. So, guys, I do have the most awesome, and I mean the most awesome affiliate link with Burner. Burner is the less lethal self-defense company, guys. They make their top-of-the-line Burner SD, Burner LE, TCR, Mission 4, and their newest, ladies and gentlemen, their compact launcher. So if you guys value your right to the Second Amendment and your right to self-defense, but you guys want to do it in a less lethal manner, well then, ladies and gentlemen, head over to my friends at burner.com. And finally, guys, finally, I have this awesome, and I mean this most awesome affiliate link with North Shore Medical Supply. North Shore Medical Supply, guys, they make their top of the line North Shore Mega Max diaper, the North Shore Supreme pull up, the North Shore Supreme diaper, and their Eterna boosters, guys. So if you know somebody out there that needs to wear adult diapers, that needs to be put in adult diapers like I am, guys, well then, ladies and gentlemen, send them on over to my friends at North Shore Medical Supply, and they will make sure that they are diapered up and padded up like me. And before we get this show on the road, literally, guys, if you guys love this episode and any of my other episodes on Nikki's World, seriously, y'all, can y'all please consider sharing this across all the social media platforms that are out there today? Wow. Holy shit, wow. That is a damn well mouthful. And yes, guys, it is Friday, and you know it is. It's the weekend. And yes, guys, I am diapered up as always. I am in my North Shore Megamax diapers with my Eterna boosters. And basically, I'm just wearing a cami today because it's nice, hot, humid out there. So gotta go with the flow, ladies and gentlemen. You really do. So let's get on with the show, shall we? So what happened, like I believe last week or this week, over in the UK, some British citizen got stabbed by this like Suki guy from like South Asia carrying a knife, all right? But as he was like proceeded to call for help, instead of the UK cops helping him, they handcuffed him and basically killed him right there instead of rendering aid. Instead, they helped the third world slop instead of the UK citizen. This is why, ladies and gentlemen, I don't live in the United Kingdom. I don't live in the UK because I tell you what, the shit I say would have me in their fucking prison because their liberal orthodoxy, their liberal, oh, we have to bring in third world multiculturalism bullshit. Yeah, multiculturalism bullshit got one guy killed in the UK, and he was laying there dying in a pool of blood, and instead of helping him, they handcuffed him. This is why, ladies and gentlemen, the UK cops over there are all fucked up assholes. In America, they're nothing more than security guards with a taser to us in America. And cops in America would just render aid immediately and then basically handcuff the guy with the weapon first. But over in the UK, they handcuff their citizens and let them die there. Because you know why? They would rather cater to third world slop or Muslim immigrants or like any other immigrant instead of like catering to their own citizens. This is why, ladies and gentlemen, the UK is a failed state. It is a failed state with nuclear weapons. And that is the biggest danger in this country right now. The UK could conceivably be a Muslim country or South Asian country with a nuclear weapon. Pretty much. And this is why even Vice President J.D. Vance was correct. That country is a failed state. Okay? That country is so fucked up, so failed, that they can't even protect their own citizens, but instead protect illegal immigrants, Muslims, refugees over citizens. This is why in the United Kingdom, they can't carry guns. They can't carry anything to protect themselves or defend themselves. Because in the UK, defending themselves is like a fucking damn crime. This is why in the UK, their citizens get thrown in jail just for defending themselves, just for speaking freely. Well, here in America, yeah, you get to defend yourself. You get to speak freely. But over in the UK, they throw your ass in the jail, and the cops over there, who are nothing more than glorified security guards, beat the living snot out of you. I tell you what, those UK cops try that shit here in America, they get their ass kicked. That so-called taser wouldn't even work on here in America. Although it does work on some people, but not all the people. But the fact of the matter is, those UK cops, if they ever try that shit here in the United States of America, they get their ass kicked. They get their ass beat so badly that they be in a hospital with probably with a broken bone or a broken leg, or probably with a broken neck. They probably get their ass kicked here in America. Even our thugs here in America, we respect them. We go like this. We have our differences, but we respect you. And respect goes a long way here. But in the UK, their cops are so weak ass pussies that here in this country, we kick their ass in a fucking heartbeat. We would literally beat the shit out of them. What do? Use like what? The baton? Thugs would break out a Glock and just blow 2 rounds into them, and it'd be like nothing to them. It'd be nothing. But the fact is, what happened to Henry Nowak in the UK is a travesty. It's a death of Western civilization. It is a death of Western culture in this country. It is basically a death. Okay? The fact that they're willing to really kill someone, yeah, that they're willing to kill someone there or willing to protect basically the Suki religion because they're carrying knives because they think, oh, it's for religious reasons. But then you have that British citizen who died needlessly. I'm going like this, ladies and gentlemen. If this shit happened in the United States of America, that Suki family would have been deported within 2 seconds. Their immigration, their green card, their visa would have been like this. Ripped up. ICE would have walked in, swept the whole family, and deported them right back to where they came from within 2 seconds, and they would get a lifetime ban from ever immigrating to America. They would do that. But in some sissy liberal country like Canada or the UK, they would be welcomed there with open arms. Whereas here in America, no, you follow the rule of law. And if you can't respect the rule of law, bitch, I get the fuck out of this country. That's the problem with the UK. The UK has become basically the Pakistan of the West or the New Delhi of the West. Yeah, it literally has. Because the fact of the matter is, you got these UK liberals who care more about a person's than their rights and safety. This is why I'm glad I am not a British citizen. This is why I am glad I am not a British citizen. Okay, I'm an American citizen, and I can say shit about those UK cops, and those UK cops can't say shit about me. And they can't. If they even try to say, "Oh, we want you arrested for violent speech," my country would probably sit there and say, "Up yours, go fuck yourself, go shit on your pants, go have a whiny hissy temper tantrum, and have a nice day." Because you know why? We have what we call the First and Second Amendment. And there's a reason why we have that First and Second Amendment. If the First Amendment gets in trouble, guess who comes at him? It's the Second Amendment. And that Second Amendment will stand right there with the gun going, hey, First Amendment, you got a problem here? And that Second Amendment points the gun and go, let's talk. Pretty much that simple. That's why in the UK or basically Western Europe, you can't carry a gun. You can't carry pepper spray. You can't carry anything that can defend yourself because to the fucked up European liberals, they think carrying a gun, carrying a pepper spray means you're a threat or a terrorist or whatever. They're liberal, mental, retarded insanity. It is. But this is why, ladies and gentlemen, what's going on in the UK over there is fucked up. It is so fucked up that it makes me glad I live in the United States of America, where we have rule of law, where we have the court system, where we have the Second Amendment right. And that Suki guy, the guy that stabbed Henry Nowak in the United States of America, he's fucking thrown in prison by now. He's looking at doing what? 10 to 15 years in prison. He would. And I wouldn't care about his so-called religious rights. Dude, you carry what looks like a knife. To us in America, that is a weapon. And that warrants us carrying ours as well. You don't like it? Get the fuck out of this country. Okay? You don't like it? You see the border over there? Get the fuck out. It's pretty much that simple. It's pretty much that simple. The fact of the matter is, guys, and the fact of the matter is, what's happened in the UK is a tragedy. Your citizens, this is coming from an American here. Y'all need to stand up. Y'all need to stand up and take back your country. Y'all need to do what Donald Trump did in America, what Louis did in Argentina. You need to do that. Y'all need to stand up, fight your country, and take your country back from the fucked up liberals. You really do. Do you really have to take a page from the libertarian in Argentina or from Donald Trump here in America? Because that's what y'all need to do in the UK. Y'all need to stand up there and fight like fucking hell. Y'all need to literally stand there and say, look, we're not taking this anymore. We're going to kick this entire government out and replace it. It's that simple. But the fact of the matter is, you got UK liberals who are pro-immigration, pro-multiculturalism, and pro this and this and this. But then the funny part is, when your own citizens get killed because of liberalism and culturalism, how many more people need to die in your country before people have had enough and sit there and go, fuck this shit? Yeah, at this point, the UK cops over there are so weak ass pussies that I tell you what, they could be overrun real quick. They could be overthrown real quick here in America. In America, they overthrow those cops in less than 5 seconds. We probably have them hog-tied or chained so badly they be crying like, oh. But you know what? In America, we go like this. Because you act like a sissy and a bitch. The UK needs adults and grown-ups in there who's got balls and who's got a spine to say, no, we're not tolerating this. And we're not. I know Tommy Robertson in the UK is putting up a damn well good fight, and we're backing him in America. I know we're doing that. I know, like, what, the member of parliament, Nigel, he's putting up a fight as well. We're backing him over there as well, too. But the fact of the matter is, the UK government is overrun by sissy liberals who think diversity, equality, inclusion and multiculturalism is great, but then when your own citizens get fucking killed and murdered, fuck that, bitch. Fuck that. Yeah, fuck that. That's why it's like this. UK is basically committing like what they call suicide empathy. All right, they are committing suicide empathy and basically killing themselves in the fucking process. And I hate to say this, UK, like most of Western Europe, may not be a safe country to travel. Maybe like what? Poland? Poland may be the safest country to travel because Polish, they don't put up with illegal immigrants in their country. If you don't behave properly, they throw your ass out the door. They really do. They really do. Even though the EU, which is the sissy liberal faggot government, loves to say, oh, well, you should take illegals. Well, why don't you? This is why I go like this, man. This is why, like this, the EU is literally shooting themselves in the foot. Okay, there are countries right now who are already starting to get fed up with the illegal immigrants from Africa and Muslim countries in South Asian countries, disrespecting their rule of law, their cultural norms, and all that. They're already getting fed up, and they're already starting to deport them back. You know, they're already starting to deport them back and saying, we don't want your ass in our country. You can't behave properly. You can't follow our cultural norms in this country. Yeah, they're literally telling them, nope, bye, see the door, bye. Or they're literally putting them on the plane and going like this and shipping them off back to Pakistan, India, Bangladesh, to wherever they came from and go, there you go, bye. But that's what's happening. And I'm telling you this right now. That's what's happening right now. Tommy Robinson is putting up a good fight. And Henry Nowak is becoming the UK's version of George Floyd. But their version of George Floyd is Henry Nowak. But then the problem is the UK liberals are not even standing up for their own citizen, but instead standing up for the illegal immigrants, the Muslims, and all that shit, and the African immigrants. Yeah, that's what they're standing up for. But I go like this. That's why the fucking UK government's fucked up. That's why the UK government's so fucked upside the head. They're so messed up that it ain't even funny. It ain't. And that's why I go like this. That's why the UK is a fucked up country. And I wouldn't even visit that country. Even if I was on military orders, I wouldn't even visit the country. I'd stay on the military base until we're going elsewhere. Because the UK right now is a fucked up nation. It is a fucked up country run by liberals who live in this kumbaya fantasy world, but they don't understand fantasy does not go well with fucking reality. And fantasy will literally burst their fucking bubble. Hate to say this to you, it literally will. And that is the saddest thing in the world. Yeah, the UK basically is becoming like what? The South Asia of the West, or as I call it, West Pakistan. Canada is becoming the New Delhi of the West because they've been invaded by Indians from India or Pakistanis or like Bangladeshis. Telling you, man. At this point in this country, they should put a border wall on the northern end just to prevent those Indians from migrating south. And just basically like this. Nope, you don't get to migrate. You don't get to migrate to to America. Nope, you stay up there with your trannies up there in Canada, you know. I know like this, UK, they came to their common sense and told the transgender cult up over in the UK they can't use the women's bathroom anymore. They got to use the bathroom that corresponds to their biological sex. So there is some hope there, but my hope is that Trump got to King Charles over there and said, "Look, you got to fix your country. Your country is a hot mess. You got to you got to fire your prime minister and maybe fire your parliament and start all over again." I hope Trump got to him to that, but who knows? I was not there at the meetings or the conferences. I was not a fly in the wall or a bug in the wall, but who knows? But I will say this, and I will say this. I am glad I don't live in the UK because I couldn't carry my burner, which is a less lethal, and this is why I go like this. The UK citizens over there, y'all should be armed to the teeth. Y'all should be armed. If you can't carry a gun, there needs to be a way for citizens to carry a less lethal burner or a less lethal taser. And I know the UK has a tranny cop that carries a taser. I go like this. That tranny cop points that taser to my face. My Glock 17 comes out and points at his face. Let's see how fast his taser goes versus my Glock. You know, that would probably shit his pants, and probably what shit is like what his dick, whatever's left of it. But that's why it's like this. The UK cops over there are so weak that even American cops look at them and go, "I'm not putting your ass in New York, Boston, Chicago, or Los Angeles. Your ass would get your butt killed in that area. Your ass would be handed back like this going." And you wonder why we carry guns? Because we equalize the situation. You wonder why a taser is not enough. But you know, in the UK, they think only armed officers carry it. Here in America, every cop is armed, and then every citizen's armed. That's what equalizes the conversation. That's what equalizes things. Here, we're armed to the teeth. That's why. Because you know why? We have a little piece of paper called the United States Constitution. And that's what gives us the same rights that everyone gets in this country. That's what gives the same rights in this country. And the fact of the matter is, guys, it makes me glad that I'm not a British citizen. Because if I had to deal with if the shit I say on my podcast show, I'd probably wind up in a British prison for it. I probably would. But here in the United States of America, I get to say shit about them. And the UK cops can't say shit. Even though Keir Starmer likes to say, "Oh, Musk is inciting all this shit. Musk is inciting all this." Musk isn't doing any of that shit. All Elon Musk is doing, ladies and gentlemen, is highlighting the news, what's going on, and what the media is not reporting. It's that simple. The reason why the UK wants to shut Elon Musk up is because they don't want him exposing their fragile liberal ideology. They don't want him exposing how they're basically committing genocide against the British citizens and the white British citizens. They don't want him exposing that, because if it got exposed on every media outlet on the face of the earth, like, people are going to look at the UK government and go, "What the fuck is wrong with you people?" I don't think we want to do business with a country that does that to their people. Okay, that's why they're going to look at that. All right. So anyway, guys, let's put this discussion here. I want to talk about this one asshole in Connecticut by the name of Jadon MacCormack. Okay, he was running for a state representative in the 50th district in Connecticut, and he went on social media and went on Reese on the radio on WTIC AM 1080 saying he wants to basically imprison and basically execute homosexuals for who they are. And he wants to bring basically the Christian version of Sharia law in the state. I sit there and I go like this. I stood here to uphold the Constitution to make sure everyone, including that fucking asshole, to have the freedom to express whatever he wants, to espouse whatever he wants. But now he wants to run for public office and espouse that shit? As a libertarian, I sit there and I go like this. He's a fucking piece of shit. He's a fucking piece of work. Okay? For him to want to espouse his Christian beliefs and wants to turn Connecticut into like what? A Christian version of Sharia law that the Muslims do in Muslim countries, where he wants to force women to wear like the version of the Handmaid's Tale. If I ever saw this piece of shit, like Jane E. MacCormack, I'd slap his ass across the house that everyone would hear it around the world. Basically slap his ass across the bow. I would. For a guy who wants to impose a Christian version of Sharia law here in this state, and the fact that he thinks that gay people should be put to death, my God, as a libertarian, I believe in freedom and liberty, but there are assholes out there that don't deserve to be in public office. They do not deserve to sit in public office for the shit that they do. They don't. The fact that this asshole wants to impose a Christian version of Sharia law here in Connecticut, he doesn't deserve to run for office. I'm telling you, man, he does not deserve to run for public office in Connecticut. And the fact that he wants to, he said like this, he wants to put people to death for having sexual relations. That stuff that you do in your bedroom, somebody should take a 2x4 and smack it across his head. Someone should take a 2x4 and literally slap it across his head. That is not fit for office. That is not fit for office, in my opinion. That just goes to show he's the kind of people that is more comfortable with the Muslim religion. He's the kind of asshole that would have conversations with Muslims where in Muslim countries being gay would get your fucking ass stoned or tossed off the building. Where women can't go out without being covered from fucking head to toe. Where women have to have permission from a man to do things. Be in good company with those fucking motherfucking retards. But Jadon, his brand of religion should be banned from this country. His brand of religion should really end. He's the type of asshole that should literally not be allowed to step foot in the state capitol in Hartford. His ass should never be allowed. Yes, I am all for banning groomers and banning teaching of LGBTQIA plus crap in public school. I'm all for that. But the way he's going about this shit, that shit, fuck that piece of shit. That piece of shit should be voted, should never be voted. He should never be voted in. I'll tell you this much. Anyone in the 50th district that votes for this asshole, you should have, the state should tax your ass to a fucking Bolivian. It's pretty much that simple. And yes, he is in my state of Connecticut. And I live in that state with that fucking asshole of a retard over there. He literally does. But I will tell you this. This asshole that wants to bring, like, what? He wants to bring what? A version of Christian Sharia law in the state of Connecticut? He's why he's why he should never be allowed to run for office. Whoever in that town that he lives in allowed him, you people need to get your ass slapped in the face. Y'all people need to be bitch slapped so hard across the fucking bow. Literally. Literally. This guy is more akin to a Muslim than a Christian. But he wants to impose death on people for what they do in their bedroom at home? My fucking God. Sometimes the internet gives rise to fucking assholes, okay? Sometimes the internet gives rise to assholes like Jadon E. MacCormack. They give rise to assholes like this. And I sit there and I go like this. Assholes like him don't deserve to run for office. They deserve to be thrown in a fucking mental institution for the rest of their fucking natural life. Okay? So this guy Jadon wants to impose the death penalty just because somebody's in a gay relationship? No, I got a neighbor like a couple of houses down that's a lesbian couple. I go like this. As long as what they're doing is okay, who am I to judge? But this guy, Jadon, fuck this asshole. Fuck this piece of shit. Yeah, fuck this shit. Yeah, Jadon needs to fucking resign. Jadon needs to fucking drop out. And if the Republican Party is going to endorse this asshole, I'm sorry to say this. This is why I'm a libertarian. This is why I'm a fucking conservative libertarian. Because you know why? If the Connecticut Republican Party is going to endorse this and run this asshole, they lose. Don't come fucking crying to my motherfucking ass. They lose. Cry because you lost the election to a Democrat. Because you know why? Because you ran an asshole who should have been locked up in a fucking mental institution instead of being allowed to run for public office. I'm sorry to say this. This piece of shit should never be allowed to run for office. I'm sorry to say this. Anybody who endorses Jadon E. MacCormack, your legitimacy just got shot out the fucking window. Your legitimacy just got thrown out. Because you know why? Why should I believe what you say if you're okay with him wanting to bring a Christian version of Sharia law in this state? Guy like him, guy like him is a guy that should have been shoved in a fucking damn locker room. Should have been like basically had thrown at him in the school cafeteria. Basically have a tray smacked across his head. Yeah. But for a guy that wants to bring like a Christian version of Sharia law or the Handmaid's Tale here in Connecticut, I'm sorry to say this. I'm sorry to say this. He does not deserve to have a seat at the state capitol in Hartford, Connecticut. He does not have the he does not deserve to have a seat. That asshole deserves to be sitting in a psychiatric ward for the rest of his fucking natural life. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, I'm fucking fired up as hell. I'm fucking mad as hell because how the fuck is the GOP in Connecticut gonna allow this guy to run for office? The fact that he wants to impose a version of Sharia law in Connecticut, and mind you, he was a fucking Eagle Scout. No wonder why the Boy Scouts are all upside the head. No wonder why the Boy Scouts are all. Yeah, no wonder why. Thank God I never joined the Boy Scouts because they're all fucked up pedophiles. Yeah, no wonder why. That's why I would rather trust the Sea Cadets, Sea Scouts, Young Marines, and the Civil Air Patrol over the Boy Scouts. Yeah, but the fact of the matter is, man, this guy doesn't deserve to be in public office for his religious stance, for his religious beliefs. The fact that he wants to impose death on people who want to do their own thing. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. This guy doesn't deserve to run for office. This guy does not deserve to be in public office. This guy deserves to be put in basically a psychiatric hospital. This guy literally, ladies and gentlemen, deserves to be put in a mental institution. Yeah. The fact that he wants to put people to death over their beliefs, and he's running in the 50th House District, which is basically in the rural Northeast. Yeah, this guy's a fucking piece of work. This guy's a piece of work. Yeah, he's a piece of shit. He's a piece of shit. And I'm telling you, he doesn't deserve to be in the state capitol. And the people up there who vote for his ass, they don't deserve anything from the state. Make them live as poor as they fucking can. You know, make them live the poorest of the poor, like in West Virginia. Make them live like that. Make them. But the fact that the Connecticut Republican Party is allowing him to run like that says a lot about the GOP in Connecticut. The GOP in Connecticut is nothing more than a Republican in name only party, more like the Rhino Party, but in reality they're like the Democrat light. Okay, they're more like Democrat light. But to me, ladies and gentlemen, this piece of shit should not be allowed to run for office. This piece of shit should not be allowed to run. Trust me, if I was in his district, I'd run against him. I'd run against him so fast that I guarantee you I will sink the motherfucker's ass faster than a fucking Titanic. I literally would. But sometimes people like that, John E. MacCormack, somebody should just literally punch his mouth. Literally. Somebody should just punch his mouth or slap him across the fucking head and say, what about your religious beliefs? You got religious beliefs? That shit home. It's that simple. Really. But for that, no, he doesn't deserve to be at this. He doesn't deserve to be a legislator. He deserves to be voted out. And whoever's running against him in the 50th district, I'm backing you fully. I'm backing you so fully right then and there. Whoever's running against him, you got my vote. You got my endorsement. All right? Right then and there. But anyway, guys, wow, that was a good long show. That was a good long show for y'all today. You know I was fired up, especially the MacCormack bullshit in the 50th district of Connecticut that wants to bring the version of Christian Sharia law here. This guy doesn't deserve to be in office, in my opinion. He doesn't. But this is why I'm speaking up about this, and I'm making it fucking known here in Connecticut. And I'm really gonna make sure that he never gets elected. All right, I'm really going to make sure, literally. All right. So anyway, guys, I know it's the weekend. I got to get ready because I have a photo shoot coming up on Saturday. So I have to get ready to get going over there. So you know me, guys. I got to be ready for those things and all that. But anyway, I want to thank you guys for tuning in to Nikki's World. I'm Nikki, your host. I will see y'all on Monday. Y'all have a good and safe weekend. Stay safe, stay sane out there. Keep your head on a swivel. I will see y'all soon. Bye for now.
You just listened to an episode of Nikki's World. Thanks for listening. We'll see y'all soon. Bye for now.